My question is regarding a better balance or finding a better balance between or altruism and selfishness. I'm trying to get better at that. I've been much too altruistic in my life.
Yes, there is much we can tell you. However, we will say that your terms and your definitions are limited to the old ways of viewing things. So we will use different terms to address your question. And we will bring you here to the notion of unconditional self-love. We suggest that you focus on how you can learn yourself and let's see how we can use terms that you could relate to, as we already feel the resistance coming up, and we would like to use words and terms that both convey our message and are also received by you. That is better. We will say that the issue here is not that you have been too altruistic, but that you have not given yourself the sufficient love and care that you deserve. So, shall you seek for further balance in the giving and receiving aspect of your life, you must learn how to give yourself unconditional love. What does that mean? That means to make sure that your body, for example, is getting sufficient nutrition so you can care for it and love it as you should. It also means that your mind should get sufficient love and intellectual stimulation as it should. It also means that your heart should be open to accept yourself as you are today, while being open and inviting changes that are coming and will continue to come, as the nature of your being is always changing. As a human, we mean. That is the nature of everything, of your environment, of yourselves, of your friends, of everything that you know is always changing. This is true. So accepting when you are where you are today at this moment in time does not mean locking it the way it is. Even if you try, it's not going to work. However, there is a process of self-discovery with awareness that intended to bring love and not judgment or fear or hatred toward yourself. So we encourage you to discover and truly discover what self-love means. This notion has been misunderstood in your society, as when you think of love, you think of the kind of love that comes from the ego, that comes from the smaller self. This is not the kind of love we are talking about. We are talking a love that is acceptance plus excitement for the beingness. Think of how you would be if you take the notion of love as you know it, as your small ego self, just like being in love in a relationship with a person, and think about being in love with life. Seeing everything with eyes of excitement, discovery, commitment, newness. What kind of life would you live were you in love with life? And we will also stop you here, as you have a tendency to want to experience only the positive, which could be associated with the beginning of a relationship when you're in love. So we will stop you here and mention that this is not about not allowing anything that's unpleasant. This is not what it is about. It is about, though, seeing everything with new eyes of excitement, of newness, of welcoming And when things arise that you do not want to welcome, then this is an invitation to further look into them, since if you push them away, you are not dealing with them. And dealing with them, again, dealing is a human term. From our perspective, is more than dealing, is welcoming them into your heart. However, once again, you may look at it from the smaller you perspective, and therefore welcoming and bringing into your heart what you would consider negative or unpleasant may be problematic. Therefore, we suggest going through acceptance. Acceptance is very, very key to humanity at this point, as there are many fractions of your world that are falling into fear and control and greed, etc. You must learn to accept those without the fear they evoke in you. Emotion is contagious. When these fractions express their fear, you may lock onto them and take some of this fear and allow these wounds to awaken in your own being. It is your job to tend to these wounds with love. And again, love here we would equate to acceptance if we take it in the human perspective. We bid you farewell. As always, you have our love, our gratitude and appreciation for showing up